Hi guys, welcome to Alive, my search for the best ways to live. I'm your host, my name is Jiggy Jr. And today we're here live at the greenery in Mabolo. And I am actually behind the Coffee Mobile, which has decided to visit common grounds. And I have with me the man behind the Coffee Mobile. He is a coffee connoisseur, Barista Pablo to the coffee community. His name is Paul Anzano, or Paul Anzano, right?
Yes.
Hi, Paul, or Pablo, as your friends will call you. How's everything? Kamusta?
Okay lang, Sir Jiggy.
Okay, Pablo, let's get down to business. Pablo, how did you find coffee? Take us to that moment when you first fell in love with coffee. Go ahead.
It all started last 2014, Sir Jiggy, when
Okay.
I was employed
Okay.
in a big international coffee brand.
Okay.
So basically, it all started there as a barista. Then with all the trainings, without knowing, I fell in love to the coffee culture itself. Then, yeah, as I worked to that brand or coffee shop, without knowing, I've been hooked into this big coffee world. Um, yeah, the coffee is not just coffee. Kay, every cup of coffee that we serve, kay na siya story behind it. So yes, just like what you are drinking right now.
Tell us the story of this cup of coffee right now.
Okay.
What is this cup of coffee that I'm having right now?
You're actually having a coffee from Davao del Sur,
Okay.
which is from Mount Apo. Then it came from Satyun Neptune Bansalan.
Okay.
So it's a farm that is really known here sa Philippines can produce good quality cup of coffee. So
Okay.
with that, as you can taste na siya flavors of black currants and red apples as it cools down, right? So yeah, similar to that one, without knowing those flavors can actually ma-feel yun nimo in that cup. So that's kind of murag magic behind brewing a cup of coffee. So it's one part science, at the same time it's all about art yet.
Okay, to be honest with you, Paul, my love affair with coffee is really about waking up because I do a morning job, right? I do the morning show. So I need something to perk me up, to wake me up. So since as far as I can remember, I've been a coffee drinker. But primarily, ang purpose with that is for me to be able to wake up. Para maabtik ko ba?
Yeah.
Because, caffeine is known to be a stimulant that
Yeah,
wakes you
exactly.
up, right? So ako, that's the reason why I fell in love with coffee. Ikaw, personally, on a personal note, do you enjoy a cup of coffee? And how does a barista, how does a coffee connoisseur enjoy a cup of coffee? Do you enjoy it differently from us?
Yes, basically, every brewing methods man good Sir Jiggy, it produce different flavors of a coffee.
Yeah.
So for example, what you're drinking right now.
Like how do you enjoy it? How does Paul
Yeah.
Anzano, the barista, the coffee connoisseur, enjoy a cup of coffee? Kanang chill lang ka ba? If you're not working,
Yeah.
if you're at home, or maybe somewhere that you love, maybe the beach or whatever, and then you have a cup of coffee, how do you enjoy it? How do you savor a cup? Go ahead.
Same sa what you're drinking right now. Personally, I brew my own coffee
Okay.
using the pour over, like this one.
Okay, this is the pour over, can it?
Yeah.
This one? Okay.
Kay pour over coffee mo good, it allows subtle flavors to shine. So when you say subtle flavors, you can really taste
Okay.
the notes of that coffee.
Okay.
So, yeah, when you watch manggod someone brewing pour over, it's like cooking kanang sudan.
Okay.
So, yeah, nga na siya nga kayan nga every brew kay naa siya recipe that
Okay.
you will follow.
Okay.
So, for me, every day kay lain-lainon gyud nako ang brew recipe to explore nga different flavors nga ma-extract to that specific coffee. For example, today I personally drink coffee from Ethiopia. So
Okay.
yeah, with that kay duwa-duaan ako ang iyang recipe like
Okay.
its grind, ang temperature sa water or unsaon ako siya pag pour sa water sa pour over kay maka-extract man siya different flavors.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kuan gyud kanang very calming to your mind nga mag-brew ka kay it takes at least 30 minutes to brew a cup of coffee using pour over. So yeah,
30
it's really
minutes?
fun. For me, for
you.
my bro.
So unsa man, like you mentioned earlier during the pre-interview nga, it's like a work of art
Yeah.
to make a cup of coffee. Do you mean to say nga kaning a particular cup of coffee from Davao del Sur,
Yes.
Mount Apo, right?
Yes.
Beans, does that mean nga there's another way to brew this particular cup of coffee or kausara? Like there's only one way, there's only one right way to brew this cup of coffee, or there are many ways to make it sound different. How else could you have changed the flavor profile of this particular cup?
Okay, that's a good question, Sir
Okay.
Jiggy. So, basically, naay different brewing methods.
Okay.
So, first is kanto pour over, naay French press, naay Chemex, naay pressurized extraction similar
Okay.
to espresso machine,
Okay.
and nasay drip or katong pang-brewed coffee nga let's say ban brewer.
Okay.
So, every brewing method kay it extracts different flavors. So, for example, as I've said earlier, pour over tends to highlight more of the subtle flavors.
The subtle flavors.
Yes.
Okay.
French press tends
Okay.
to highlight more of its body. So,
Body.
yeah. So, mas more ang iyang intensity sa mouthfeel.
Okay.
Then, next is ang pressurized extraction, which is ang katong espresso machine. So,
Okay.
di ba, sige magyug ka og pangapi. So, katong espresso shots, it's really concentrated. So, that's why, bisan sa gula nimo siya milk, mo highlight yapon ang notes sa coffee.
Okay.
Then lastly is katong ban brewer. So similar siya sa pour over, but it tends to highlight murag balanced flavor sa iyang body and acidity. So na siya sa in between.
So what's the best way to brew a cup of coffee?
best way
Is there
as
one
a barista?
best way as a barista? Yeah.
Wala siya best way
Wala siya
actually.
best way.
It depends to the beans nga imong i-brew kay
No, granting all else equal. Let's just say this particular brew, the Davao del Sur
Yeah.
Mount Apo beans. What is the best way to brew this particular
for
kind of beans?
me ato pour over.
Pour over siya.
Yeah.
But it doesn't follow that all beans are best pour over. Pwede po nga it's better with a coffee machine, espresso machine, and the other methods.
Yeah, exactly, Sir Jiggy. Kay, especially sa beans, naaman sa siya yung mga technicalities or let's say mga fundamentals. Let's say ang iyang asa siya gi-grow or ang iyang growing region. Kay every growing region man god, it highlights different flavors. So for example, naay 3 growing regions for sa entire world. So those are Latin America, Asia Pacific, and Africa Arabia. So Asia Pacific, which we belong, tends to highlight more of earthy flavors or mga herbs or spices. Latin America tends to highlight mga cocoa or nutty flavors, while Africa Arabia tends to highlight more of its kanang mga fruity taste, mga citrusy.
Is this because of the climate of the country? Is it because of the kind of soil that they have?
Yeah, exactly.
Is it because of the elevation? All of these factors put together, right? How is Filipino coffee compared to other kinds of coffee beans? Are we at par with the best in the world? What is the coffee profile of the typical coffee profile of a Filipino brew?
It depends. We call it in the world of coffee terroir.
Okay.
Sir Jiggy. So terroir, it means when you plant a coffee tree or a specific plant to that place, kay makuha niya ang flavor notes kung sa iyang surroundings or iyang soil. So for example, sa Davao del Sur, ang mga farms or reading farms dito kay naaman sa mga fruits, let's say mga bananas, similar to that. So makuha gyud niya ang notes. So similar to wine grapes bitaw, Sir Jiggy, kung asa siya gi-plant, di ba? Na Merlot, Chardonnay, Pinot Noir. So similar to world of coffee nga na siya, so different flavors. So yeah, Mount Apo is actually one of the kanang leading
So we
yun nga
are
kuwan.
at par with the world's best coffee. Would you say that?
Actually, in the year 1880, we are the fourth largest kanang growing up coffee producer. Then sadly, in the year 1889, kay nahita og coffee leaf rust. So
Coffee what?
coffee leaf rust.
Okay.
So it's a mura siya
Disease?
disease.
Okay.
So atong mga farmers during that year kay they decided to grow other crops. Kay ang coffee tree man gud, Sir Jiggy, it tends to produce coffee once every year. So maka-harvest atong mga farmers once a year niya mo tunam sa coffee, mamunga siya within 3 years. So that's why atong mga farmers before kay nag-grow ng saglain crops. So tungod ato kay ni daw ng atong let's say kuan siguro kanang produce sa coffee or pag-supply. So for me, Philippine coffee is actually naa siya dungog balik karon because of the previous competitions na giapilan sa mga local or Filipino nga mga barista. So that's why we're also promoting mga local beans such as ito Mount Apo, coffees from Benguet, Sagada. Kay we all know we can compete in a worldwide market with those beans nga we have here in the Philippines.
So, is Philippine coffee beans in demand all over the world? Do people outside of the Philippines look for a specific coffee brew or coffee beans from the Philippines?
Yeah, I can say yes, Sir Jiggy, but sadly, sa akong nabasahan nga makuan, mga Filipino farmers cannot supply the demand.
Which is a good problem, right?
Yeah, good problem.
That's a good problem.
Kaya nagkataas man gud siya ang demand, but ang yielding sa atong mga farmers is not that really high.
That high,
So
okay. So you were connected with to a international coffee brand. You experienced all the training, your coffee, your love affair with coffee started there, and you pretty much were on the right path as far as becoming a barista is. You became what they would call a coffee master. So all of a sudden, you started thinking about creating something, and that something is right behind us.
yes.
The coffee mobile. Paul, tell me the story about why you decided to open Coffee Mobile. Drop everything
Yes.
and open Coffee Mobile.
It all started sa beginning of the lockdown, Sir
Okay, the
Jiggy.
lockdown. Okay.
Yeah, so basically our store closed. Yeah,
Okay.
wala man tay salary for that specific month, so I decided to share my passion sa among neighbors.
Okay.
So yeah, kato nang hatag ko sa akong personal brew as a barista. I drink coffee every day, so nasa ko'y mga personal brew at home. Then tungod sa kadaghan mo to, I started sharing it to our neighbors until mo to, it's a funny story kay magdala sila pitsil, then mo silang magkaos og kape sa balay. So with that, they started buying it. Then I decided nga why not sell it online. So that's why I started selling it in a bottle similar to this one.
Okay.
So ato without what you guys expect nga naari mo dig in like di lang sa village but all around Cebu nga mo order online. So it all started there until I bought this cart. So I bought this from a friend who tends to sell balut before.
Balut vendor,
Oh,
huh?
balut vendor. So I bought it, then with my wife we started building it. Gipintalan, butangan og sticker, then gibutang na mo sa front sa mong house. Yeah, with that our neighbors wato sila sa balay then mga pi. So it all really started there, but ang concept kaniya sa entire mobile is because of my background kay I nagdako ko Sir Jiggy kay hilig kog skateboard. That's why we're here sa common ground kay marag usa sa akong influence ang skateboarding. At the same time I love motorcycles.
Okay.
So with that is kuan gid siya moving, di ba? So ako siyang giusa, so since I love skateboarding and motorcycle at the same time coffee, ako lang siyang gi-combine. That's why nagawas ng Coffee Mobile.
Okay.
So kana usa sad ka factor ana is with my past job kay I always do coffee seminars and coffee tasting man.
Okay.
So I was really amazed kana bitawng a simple cup of coffee nga can genuinely connect people. So
Okay.
similar to this one, we're talking about coffee. So kana I want to bring that culture outside kay di ba mindset sa mga Pinoys nga when you go to a coffee shop it's expensive. So why not sila may muari not as a coffee shop, ako na lang mo adto nila through the Coffee Mobile. So kana siya nga idea, it gave me that perseverance nga to continue this one. That's why I quit my proper job sa
Your quote unquote real job, right?
yeah, real job.
Okay.
So
And you started to open this. So how has it been so far? Was it worth it? Was it worth the quitting your real job, so to speak?
Yeah, actually for me it's a blessing in disguise ang COVID kay without katong lockdown di siguro na ako masugdan. So actually honestly gamay pa kay may profit with this one, but ang interaction with the people, as I've said earlier, ang connection is really it's more of a personal bitaw nga achievement nga maka-inspire kog other people to dig or brew their own coffee at home or to buy local coffees, especially coffees from ito, Davao or let's say Benguet, Sagada, local coffees. So with that kay I want to push pagyud more to inspire more people to drink the real coffee.
So this is something that requires your presence, your skills, right? As Barista Pablo, and you move from one location to another. Right
Yes.
now we are here at Common Grounds,
Yes.
at the Greenery, and you're probably going to be somewhere else tomorrow, right? And
Yes.
so on and so forth. But it requires you. What is your? Do you already are you thinking about expanding already? How do you replicate this coffee mobile? Do you want to open other coffee carts, coffee mobile bicycles, and where would they be? What's the
Hopefully
plan?
next year, Sir Jiggy, kay naa naman ko'y mga people who are asking for franchise.
Oh.
So with that, hopefully I can stabilize my schedules at the same time, my profit. So with that, maybe next year, mga January, when the COVID or pandemic settles down, I will be starting to offer franchise. So yeah, one of my goal is to put this different locations in the cities kay para daghan sad mi ma-offer sa mga sa mga people. At the same time, daghan sa people nga ma-inspire to drink
Yeah, but
coffee.
I guess, but that's true. Huh? I mean, expanding is a good thing. But I think part of the charm of the coffee mobile is it's difficult to catch, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You have to sunod-sunuron pa ka. You have to look for your Facebook page, right?
Yes.
Asa ka napita. So that's
Oo.
part of the charm of the coffee mobile. I guess if you're already available everywhere, it might.
Yeah.
I'm just theorizing, it might lose some of its charm
Yeah, exactly.
because it's difficult to find now, but it's so easy to find. It's in every corner. So I guess you can probably expand, but not too much, right?
Not too much.
Yeah, not too much, because I think part of the charm of the coffee mobile is that you're in a different location every
It's
time.
dynamic.
Right? It's dynamic. It's always moving.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so this was your pivot from working in an internationally famous coffee brand to doing it yourself. What kind of hadlok ba? Weren't you scared? Oh my God, I'm going to invest on a business. What if it fails? And all those kind of doubts that you have in your heart and your mind. Did you ever think about those?
Naagi na siya, Sir Jiggy.
Okay.
Actually, before I resigned, kay...
And resign good ka day.
Okay. Katong akong previous ko, under contract pa mo kato. So
Okay,
it's
okay.
a conflict of interest.
Okay.
Bitaw nga, I'm doing this business nga under pa ko nila.
Related, oh.
So, yeah, kato, it's really, kuhaan yun, lisod kayo nga, mo resign ko or padayon yun ako. So, kato, with my, kuhaan ka na bitaw mga friends, siguro support sa friends, especially with my wife and my family, they told me magud nga to pursue my dream. So, with that kay, yeah, tungod lagi nila nga nipadayon ko nga to this concept. At the same time, daghan magug mga feedbacks, especially mga people online nga they're posting this picture, then they're creating their own version of the coffee mobile. So with that kay it's really kuan bitaw heart warming seeing them or seeing other people nga na-inspired to create their own small business in the midst of COVID-19. So, I'm doing business nga naka-inspire to other people at the same time helping them to create their own small business as well. Dili lang sa coffee, but other people are selling like mga food, let's say shawarma or takoyaki using mobile like motor or any cars. So, kuan kay siya kanang baka happy.
Paul, we have hopefully a lot of viewers watching this interview right now who are in the same boat as you. They're probably thinking about moving pivoting to opening a business. They're probably just as scared as you were. Katong feeling nimo nga nahadlo ka,
Yeah.
nag-doubt ka nga mo ba niya akong gibuhat? Basig nabuang nako.
Exactly.
You know those thoughts would cross your mind, right?
Bitaw.
Maybe you can tell them how to be able to make that jump from having a stable job with an international company to doing it on your own. Maybe you can advise them in terms of the process of jumping from point A to point Coffee Mobile.
Paalang sige si Jiggy, for me, kato, as I've said earlier, it became my passion. So, when you're doing what you love, manggod, we call it passion. So, dili na siya ingon nga hindrance or kapoy. So, trust me, kung naagyo ka sa imong hilig, every day, it's like, wala ka gatrabaho. So, similar to this one, every place nga asa mi malocate kay, it's kind of spirit of adventure bitaw, similar to skateboarding or motorcycle riding. Kung bato ka sa usa ka place nga without knowing kada nga scenery is nindot kayo. So kada similar to this one, every place nga tuwa na mo kay it's like an adventure nga without knowing kung kinsa mga customer among ma-attract or let's say unsa na nga kind of place nga among mahunungan. So kada kuan lang gyud siya, kadang it's all about the adventure.
So make sure that when you pivot to whatever it is, make sure it's going to be an adventure, right?
Yeah.
It is the journey after all, and not the destination, right?
Exactly.
Where can they catch the Coffee Mobile on the social media platforms, and where will you be in the next few days?
For this specific month, Sir
Okay.
Jiggy, kay every TTH will
Okay.
be at Redeem Tattoo.
Okay.
So that's in near Gurardo.
Okay.
Every Friday and Saturday will be here sa Common Ground. And hopefully for this coming month, naaman sa mga request nga for pop-ups kay for now man good with the napang pandemic nga kuan or COVID nga issue, wala sa kay mini kuan sa streets. So that's why we're doing this sa mga in a front of establishment similar to this one. At the same time, kaya na-adjud a specific location nga ato nila for that specific day. So they can catch us sa Facebook and Instagram. They can check our story for our daily current location. So every day mag-post pang gyud mi sa among updates kung asa mi naka-park or kung asa mi naga-sell of coffee for that specific day.
So what's your Facebook page?
That's facebook.com/thecoffeemobile
Okay.
and instagram.com/thecoffeemobile.
The Coffee Mobile.
Yes.
Before I let you go, Paul, what is your dream location? What is in your bucket list of the best locations to sell coffee? Here
That's
in
a hard
Cebu.
question.
Yeah,
There is a
in Cebu.
Cebu siguro. Wala man siguro, Sir Jiggy.
Huh?
For me siguro IT Park. Kay
IT Park, okay.
knowing daghan kay kanang mga offices dito and kana
IT Park. So
Oh,
you'd like to
yung
be
foot
able
traffic.
to bring the Coffee Mobile at the IT Park.
yes, hopefully soon.
Okay, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Barista Pablo to the coffee community, of course. His real name is Paul Anzano, the man behind the Coffee Mobile. Thank you so much for watching Alive, my search for the best ways to live. My name is Jiggy Jr., and you take care now, okay?